Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome to another video. Please hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, and hit the notification bell so you will be updated on all my future content. Most importantly, please hit that subscribe button. So this live stream is going to focus on multiplication and division. Our first example problem is 624 times 8. And I'm going to go through step by step how to solve that problem. So when you see a problem like this, think of it as 3 separate single-digit problems where we regroup anytime the product is 10 or more. So we start in the ones place. We're going to start by multiplying 4 times 8. 4 times 8 equals 32. That product is more than 10, so the 2 and 32 goes in the ones place. The 3 gets carried over to the tens place. 2 times 8 equals 16, but we have to add what we carried over. 16 plus 3 equals 19. Again, we got to regroup. 9 carry the 1. 6 times 8 equals 48 plus 1 equals 49. And we have our final answer. (624 times 8 equals 4,992). All right, we are going to move on to a division problem. Next example problem, 4,992 divided by 8. So we want to start out by using the smallest number possible. We're looking for the number within the number. We want to divide by the smallest number possible. The only rule is the number inside the square has to be equal to or bigger than the number outside the square. So we cannot start out with 1 digit by 1 digit division because 8 is bigger than 4. We can start out with 2 digit by 1 digit division. So we're going to start out with 49 divided by 8. So I'm going to skip count by 8s. I'm going to see how many groups of 8 I can get into 49 without passing it. So 8, so far I have 1 group. 16, so far I have 2 groups of 8. 24, so far I have 3 groups of 8. 32, so far I have 4 groups of 8. 40, so far I have 5 groups of 8. 48, so far I have 6 groups of 8. Now if I count by 8 again, I'll be past 49. If I count by 8 again, I'll be at 56, which is too far. But I was able to get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 full groups of 8 within 49. So 49 divided by 8 equals 6. Now to find our remainder, I have to subtract the closest number that we got to 49 without going over. So 48 was as close as we could get to 49 without passing it. So 48 is what I have to subtract. (49 minus 48 equals 1). Next, we bring down the 9. Now 19 divided by 8. I got to figure out how many groups of 8 we can get in 19 without passing it. So 8, 1 group so far. 16, we have 2 groups of 8. If I count by 8 again, I'll be too far, right? 24 is past 19. But I was able to get 2 full groups of 8 within 19. So 19 divided by 8 equals 2 with a remainder. To find that remainder, we have to subtract the closest number that we could get to 19 without passing it. So 16 was as close as we could get to 19 without passing it. So I'm going to do 19 minus 16. We have a remainder of 3. Bringing down the 2. So now I got to figure out how many groups of 8 go into 32. So counting by 8s, one last time. 8, 16, 24, 32. So I was able to we were able to get 4 groups of 8 within 32. We ended up counting by 8, 1, 2, 3, 4 times to get to 32. We landed right on the number, so 32 is what we subtract. There is no remainder. And we have our final answer. 4,992 divided by 8 equals 624. All right, moving on to the next example. Shout out to everybody tuning in. Please hit the like button. It really helps the algorithm. All right, next example problem, we have 543 times 7. So we start in the ones place. 3 times 7 equals 21. 1, carry the 2. 4 times 7 equals 28, plus 2 equals 30. 0, carry the 3. 5 times 7 equals 35, plus 3 equals 38. And we have our final answer, 543 times 7 equals 3,801. All right, next example problem. 3,801 divided by 7. So we start dividing by the smallest number possible. And again, the rule is the number inside the square has to be equal to or bigger than the number outside the square. So 7 is bigger than 3, so we cannot start out with 1 digit by 1 digit division. We can start out with 2 digit by 1 digit division. 38 is bigger than 7, so we got to figure out how many groups of 7 go into 38. So counting by 7, 7, that's one group. 14, we are at 2 groups of 7 so far. 21, that's 3 groups of 7. 28, that is 4 groups of 7. 35, that is 5 groups of 7. Now, if I count by 7 again, I'll be too far, right? 42 is past 38. That's too far. But I was able to get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 groups of 7 within 38. Now, the closest I could get to 38 without going over is 35, so that's what we have to subtract to find our remainder. 38 minus 35 equals 3. Next, we bring down the 0. So now we got to figure out how many groups of 7 can fit into 30. There will be a remainder here. 7, 14, 21, 28. If I count by 7 again, I'll be at 35. I'll be past 30. But I was able to get 1, 2, 3, 4 full groups of 7 within 30. So 30 divided by 7 equals 4. $28 was as close as I could get to 30 without going over. So 30 minus 28, we subtract for the remainder. We have a remainder of 2. Next, we bring down the 1. Gonna make it so there's a little more room here. Probably should have allowed for more space. All right. Now we have to figure out how many groups of 7 go into 21. 7, 14, 21. So we're able to get 3 groups of 7 within 21. 21 divided by 7 equals 3. And then if we subtract, 21 minus 21 equals 0. As you can see, I'm press for space there. Probably should have allowed a little more space, but we have our final answer. 3,801 divided by 7 equals 543. All right, we're going to do one more multiplication problem. And then we are probably going to call it a video. $843 times 2. We start out in the ones place. 3 times 2 equals 6. We do not need to regroup because our product is less than 10. We only regroup when our product is 10 or more. 4 times 2 equals 8. Again, no regrouping needed. 8 times 2 is 16. And we have our final answer, 843 times 2 equals 1,686. I was going to end it with that multiplication problem, but we'll end it with some division. We'll do 2 more problems. We'll end it with a couple of division problems here. So we'll do one more division problem with skip counting, and then we'll end it with a division problem without skip counting. So step 1, we want to divide by the smallest number possible. We cannot start out with 1 digit by 1 digit division because the 2 is bigger than 1. The number inside the square has got to be equal to or bigger than the number outside. We can start off with 2 digit by 1 digit, 16 divided by 2. Got to figure out how many groups of 2 go into 16. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16. So we ended up counting by 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 times. 16 divided by 2 equals 8. We ended up landing right on 16, so that's what we subtract. 16 minus 16 equals 0. There is no remainder. We bring down the 8. Next, we got to figure out how many groups of 2 go into 8. Here we go. 2, that's 1 group. 4, 2 groups. 6, 3 groups. 8, 4 groups. 2 goes into 8 4 times. 8 divided by 2 equals 4. We ended up landing right on 8. 8 is what we subtract. 8 minus 8 equals 0. We bring down the 6. Next, we got to figure out how many groups of 2 we can fit into 6. 2, 4, 6. We ended up counting by 2, 1, 2, 3 times to get to 6. 6 divided by 2 equals 3. And we have our final answer, 1,686 divided by 2 equals 843. And then we subtract the 6 at the bottom just to make sure that there is no remainder, and there is no remainder. Doesn't change the answer. But again, 1,686 divided by 2 equals 843. All right, moving on to our final example. So last example problem. We have 948 divided by 3. Not going to do any skip counting here, but these are the steps. We divide, we multiply, we subtract, we bring down, and we repeat. All right, so starting with the smallest number possible, we can start with 1 digit by 1 digit division here because 9 is bigger than 3. So we can start with 1 digit by 1 digit division. 9 divided by 3 equals 3. We divide. Next, we multiply. 3 times 3 equals 9. Next, we subtract. 9 minus 9 equals 0. Next, we bring down. That 0 becomes a 4. Now we repeat the steps. 4 divided by 3 equals 1. Next, we multiply. 1 times 3 equals 3. Next, we subtract. 4 minus 3 equals 1. Next, we bring down the 8th. The 1 becomes an 18. Then we repeat a final time. 18 divided by 3 equals 6. Next, we multiply. 6 times 3 equals 18. Next, we subtract. 18 minus 18 equals 0. No more numbers to bring down, nothing to repeat. And we have our final answer. 948 divided by 3 equals 316. All right, that is my live stream for this evening. Thank you so much for tuning in. Leave a comment. Let me know what you thought of the video. And if there is an area of math or reading that you're having difficulty with, put that in the comments and I will do a future video on that skill. Until next time, this is Mr. Camilleri signing off.